Welcome everyone in the audience. We're a small family today. We're missing Nitya as well, so I'll turn it over to you, Bindo, now to start. We'll turn off comments and hand raisings until we're finished. And Bindo, we're starting with mantra 8 today from Isha, correct?
Right, that's right.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay, let's start today's session. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmatacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Parambaram Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dhri Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Of the Shanti Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. So, we saw from the beginning Isavasimidam Sarvam is the beginning which very clearly mentioned or told us that everything what is conceivable or what is there, both known and unknown, whatever it is, all of them are Ishavasyam, means occupied or permeated by Isha or Brahman. And in the second verse, the Upanishad said that those who are not able to do the renunciation, sannyasa marga, or the act of detachment, yena tektena bunjitaha. So by that act of renunciation, if one is not able to protect his identity and merge it with the Ishavasyam, to such people who think that there is differentiation between one to another, those people should be able to do only karma marga. So, kurvanneva karmani is the second mantra which it mentioned that. So, for those who want to follow the karma marga, that the only method is continue to do the karma by which shatam samaha, you live for 100 years for enjoying the fruits here and after death in the other worlds, which is supposed to be given by the Upanishad. Because Upanishad, not Upanishad, Vedas, I would say. Vedas are not decrying any marga. They, depending upon the capacity of the student or the eligibility of the student, he will be guided by the Vedas. Those who are into karma marga or with the Vedic karmas, they can do the Vedic karma because they are not able, intellectually strong, able to do the Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. Those are the people who will be, attracted towards karma marga because they are attracted towards the fruits of action. And they have the desires to aggrandize and enjoy what is being given as the gift of the karmas or karma phalas. So for such people, let them live 100 years by enjoying these karma phalas. And after futile living for many, many lives, they will come to know that that has not resulted in their satisfaction, or no aggrandizing can ever satisfy their needs, because it is like pouring fuel into the fire. It keeps on only increasing. So that is what the Upanishad Vedas are also aiming at. So having given that, then the Upanishad went on to explain what is the nature of Atma by giving the different mantras starting from the fourth mantra onwards to the seventh mantra, where the final two mantras, or sixth and seventh, gave the picture of the one who has attained that jnana, that he doesn't have any grina or hatred towards any of the living beings, because he sees himself in everything and everything in him. For such a person, how can there be a hatred or looking to others with any contempt or anger or any of those ill feelings? When they are talking about ill feelings, you should also consider the positive opposites also. The love and the need for love, etc. All of them have to be considered as this thing, because once you see yourself in everything, you are non-separable, or you are not separate from them, that there is no two, where that is the non-duality of the truth. So once you realize that, you know for sure that there is nothing other than you, which is existing in any part of the time, the future, present, and the past. Or if you look at that, is in all your three states of awareness: dream, waking, and deep sleep. So the all experiences are what is nothing but your own awareness. It is your awareness, your nature, which is awareness, is what it is coming as experiences. And what you are experiencing is only the awareness. The objects by themselves are not real, because they are all only names and forms of the awareness which is coming to you. So once you know that it is the truth of the experience is awareness, the names and forms are only used for attribution or for the purpose of transaction. So such a person will not have any hatred or love for anything. And then it also says, neither is he tied up by any kama krodha, neither love and the desire and the anger towards objects, because he sees himself in everything. So such a person has become one and everything, and he is seeing everything in himself. So having explained these in the first 7 mantras, now the Upanishad in the 8th mantra concludes the nature of Atma by giving them from the point of view of the person who is now listening to the Upanishad. He should not consider himself as separate from the person, that this is being talked about at Jnani, not about oneself. No, that the Upanishad is addressing each one of us in its language, its own language, so that we do this analysis using this mantra to identify ourselves with the Brahman. For that, the 8th mantra is being used. Swami Chinmayananda used to say, whenever the meter of a sloka or on a poem changes, it is to give importance to the subject which is being mentioned. So you will see the meter in this particular mantra is also different from the earlier mantra, where you saw only 2 lines are here, whereas here you can see the 4 lines are appearing. And this meter is also to wake up those who are listening to it, in a monotonous manner, that something important is going to be spoken, and they need to give attention to that. So this particular mantra has got importance from the point of view of the Upanishad, because the 9th mantra, again, it goes back to the old one of the 2-line meter. I'm not giving the Sanskrit name for the meter, because it will only confuse you people. So you should understand that there is special meaning which you should understand this particular mantra, which is the 8th mantra. I'll read the mantra by breaking up the words. Saparyagat Shukram Akayam Avranam Asnaviram Shuddham Apapavidham Kavir Manishi Paribhuhu Soyambhuhu Yatha Tatyataha Arthan Vyatathat Shashwadebhyaha Samabhyaha. That is how the mantra is it. Now I will take each of the words and explain that how Acharya Shankara has explained it in his Bhashya, so that I don't want to deviate, because this mantra has got, as I told you, very important that we should leave our individual identity to identify ourselves with Brahman. So the mantra has its own relevance. So the first word is Saha. Saha means he. He means here is referring to the Isha. Isavasyam idam sarvam. The first word is Isha. That Isha is now here referred as Saha. Saha Paryagat. Paryagat is the word which is now, he is Paryagat. What does the word Paryagat means? Saha Yatokta Atma, that Atma which has been narrated from the 4th mantras to the 7th mantra, which was started with the word Isha. Paryagat, Parisamandat, Agatat, Gatavan. Means Paryagat, means Parisamandat. Here the Pari means, normally Pari means is to circumvent or to go around. Samandat means Agat Gatavan. Agat means everywhere. So he has now circumvent everywhere, means there is no place where he has not circumvented or gone himself. Or in other words, he is everywhere. This Isha or Brahman is pervading everywhere. Vasyamidam sarvam, that verse is being intended by the word Paryagat. Akashavat vyapti ityartaha. Vyaptaha ityartaha. Now here you should understand one thing, that Akashavat vyaptaha ityartaha means, normally when we say permeating everything, for example, if you say that, the oil in a seed is permeated, the oil in the seed is everywhere in the seed. You cannot pinpoint which part of the seed has the oil. Normally we use sesame for the example in the Vedas. Where from the sesame you get till oil, or what you call it as sesame oil. Now the sesame oil, even if the minutest, the small seed, sesame, you cannot see the oil, but it is pervaded inside the oil everywhere. So the moment if we say pervaded, the tendency for us or the mind is that there is something in which the Brahman is pervading. That means Brahman is inside, and this, what we talk about, everything is outside. To deny such a mental image from coming up is the reason why it is said Akashavat Vyapta Ityartaha. Like the space, it is spread everything. Now we know that everything is occupying space inside the space. But at the same time, when it is occupying, it is not displacing the space. For example, if I put a ball in a water water pot, the steel ball will displace the water and occupies the space inside the water. So this type of a displacement doesn't take place when things occupy in the space. So what happens is that when we have that appearance of, or when we have things occupying the space is not displaced. At the same time, the things which are coming in the space has a unique place in the space. But not only it has got a unique place, but it cannot be divided of the space because it occupies the space without displacing the space. So what happens is that the space permeates inside the object also. The body, the inside and outside. There is nowhere you cannot segregate the space in the case of a example which we are now looking at. So Akashavat, like the Akasha, Vyapti ityartaha means when it is said that we are now talking about Akasha and Brahman. Now Brahman is occupying Akasha, that meaning you should not take. On the contrary, Akasha is, or the space is now in Brahman, how objects are in the space. When it is said that the Prapancha or the whole universe is in the space and that space is now in Brahman without displacing Brahman. There is no separate Brahman and there is no separate place where the things are occupied. So this is what it is, the meaning of the word saparyagad. Now the second word is shukram. Shukram means shubram. Shubram means jyotishmat. Shubram means effulgent. Deeptiman ityartaha. So it is effulgent. What is effulgent? This Isha or that Atma or the Brahman is Shukram, is effulgent in nature. Now when we say effulgent in nature, we have a tendency to consider fire or sun as examples of effulgency. Now here, even though we use the word Shukram, Shubram, Jyotishmat, like the fire, Jyotishmat means like the lamp or like the light. Here the weed it is, you have to understand it is the self-effulgent nature of Atma. It is self-illumining in nature. Like the sun, if I say, the sun effulgence is due to certain chemical reactions or happening in the globe. But here it is not there. Therefore, we have to understand that this is the nature of awareness. Awareness by itself is self-effulgent. When awareness, when we consider, it is not that it is giving us the knowledge of the objects which we are now coming under the awareness, but also the awareness engulfs and occupies the object to grasp the object by permeating the object so that we come to know of the object, whether it is an external object or an internal emotions, feelings or thoughts. The self-effulgent nature of Atman or Brahman is that it not only shows or objectifies the object, but it also makes it part and parcel of us by making it as a knowledge or awareness within us. So the word Shubram or Shukram is to be understood that meaning. Now comes the three words, Akayam, Avranam, Akshadam, Asnaviragam. Now these three words are used because when we talk about the Brahman or Isha has permeated us, the normal tendency for us to consider us is with the body. Our transactions are always related with the body. So what happens is that we first consider ourselves as Shariri, means one with the body. So Kayam means Shariram. Akayam means without a body. Ashariram means Linga Sharira Varjita Ityartha. Now here the word Linga Sharira Varjita is being used is to show that Sukshma Sharira. So here Akayam is standing for not the Stula Sharira, but for the Sukshma Sharira, or the subtle body, which is our mental inner body, the mind, intellect, etc. That is what is called Shariram here by the word Akayam. Why? Because the next two words, Avranam means Vranam, is to have scratches or cut or wound, etc. That is possible only for the physical body. So, or the decay of the body. So, Avranam means Akshatam. Kshatam means to decay or to have a, what you call, limp beings taken apart. And Asnaviram, Snavi means Nava means Shira is the word. Asnaviram means without head. Yasminna vidyade ityasnaviram. One who doesn't have head. Means we should not look that word at is Asnaviram means is talking about a person without head. Here it is meaning that it is not being considered that we have a physical body and even our head is being removed, we become null and void. That feeling we have that if I am beheaded, I will not cease to exist. So, Avranam Asnaviram is talking about the physical body of our Stula Sharira. Then Karam Avranam Asnaviram Itya Vipyayam Stula Sharira Pradishedha. So, these two words are to negate that we are the physical body. So we are neither the subtle body of the mental level, nor are we the physical body of which can be having decay or deep beheaded. Suddham nirmalam avidya malarahidam karana sharira pradishedaha. Suddham nirmalam. Now, Suddham means pure. Nirmalam is again the word is a synonym for pure. Malam means has another meaning is avidya. So nirmalam means avidya malarahidam. There is avidya in the karana sharira. Some people are thinking that there is karana sharira and in the karana sharira avidya is there. Therefore avidya is the reason why we are having janana marana, the birth and death. Because the karana sharira is the reason for the sharira to be the body to be maintained or even the birth of a body. So to remove that idea of karna sharira or the causal body is the word shuddham, nirmalam is used here, avidya malarahidam. So by giving that akayam, avranam, asnaviram, shuddham, by these three words, the subtle body, the gross body and the causal body has been negated by the Upanishad, saying that now if you think that you are either of the one, that is the gross or subtle or the causal body, no, you are not, because you are the one which has been mentioned, Sapagriyagat Shukram. By the first two words, it has been mentioned that Brahman is permeating everything, which includes this body which you think is separate from the word Brahman. Now you should look from this very negation that you are not separate from Brahman. So this way of negation is to remove the thought of standing apart and looking at the Brahman or Atman as separate party. It is not that you are very much the part and parcel of that Brahman. Therefore, you should consider that you are not the subtle, gross or the causal body, but you are the Brahman beyond the three. Karana, the Sharira Vinirmukta means without the any sort of body, the causal, subtle or the gross body. Apapa Vidham. The word Papaha means Punya Papa. Punya and Papa are the result of karma. Dharma, Dharma are the two factors which are controlling the karma. Adharma, if you do, you get Papa. Dharma, if you do, you get Punya. So here, Apapa Vidham means Dharma Dharmadi Papa Varjitam. By doing this, it's a Lakshana Vakya, Papa Vidham is to include Papa Punya Vidham. You have to take. So you are, whether you do dharma karmas or adharma karmas, you are not under the influence of Punya and Papa because you are not the Sharira. The dharma and adharma is only for the Sharira or the body, and therefore the Papa and Punya are for the Sharira, which is the Stula Sushma Karana Sharira. So by denying that, you also have relieved from your thinking that if you do the dharma method of given by the Vedas, then you are adhering to the Vedas and you will get Punya and Papa. You can avoid Papa and you can accumulate Punya. But if you are not the body, on whom is this Papa Punya going to be accumulated? There is neither the body nor the Papa Punya which is touching the Atman or Brahman, which is our true nature. Shukram Mityadini Vachamsi Punyalingatpena Parinayani. Now, there is a bit of grammar here. I am skipping the grammar portion. The next word is Kavihi. Kavihi means Krantadarshi Sarvadrik. Now, this word is very important. In the Brihadaranya Upanishad, it is said, Nanyato Asti Drishta. Now, Drishta Drik means one who is seeing or the seer. Kavihi, here the meaning of the Kavi is given as Karantadarshi or the one which is Sarvadarshi. Now, Sarvam Darshati, one who sees everything. When you say one who sees everything, he is seeing everything means he is overseeing everything. It means he is the one which is in whom everything is placed, or he can see everything that is in there. So like everything, the mind is placed in us. So anything that is happening in the mind is known to us. So when we are seeing every activity of the mind, we can be called, we are Manodrik, means we are one who is seeing the mind. But one who sees the Sarvam means he is in everything. He is the mind of everything. So he is seeing the mind through the mind everything what is happening in everything. There is nothing which is escaping his vision or his knowledge or his understanding. So we are to know that we are that part and parcel of that Brahman, and we are that Sarvadak. We are, as long as we identify with this limited mind, we see this mind. But when we identify with Brahman or Atman, we become the Sarvadak. We become the seer of all the everything happening everywhere. Then the next word is Manishi. Manasaha Ishita. Through the mind, he is controlling. Ishita means here is a controller. The previous word was by seer. Now he is a controller. Now if you look at the word, See, Upanishad is so poetic in its own way that it is using the same word to convey two different aspects of the mind. Here it is saying Manishi, the word previous was Kavihi. So the word Manishi, Manasaha Ishida, means he is a Sarvatnya Ishvara Ityartaha. He is a knower of everything. By controller means knower. Once you know, then only you can control anything. Just by seeing, you cannot control anything. But if you are knower of that, then you can control it. So, you can, if you are the one which having the mind, and if you are the controller of the mind, Manasa Ishida, then you are the Sarvatnya. Because not only your mind, every mind is the same way it functions. So once you know your mind, you can tell every mind is working this way. So you are not only knowledgeable about your own mind, you are also knowledgeable about other minds, how it is working. So you are not only controlling your mind, but knowing how the other minds work, you can even have the direction for guiding the other minds as to how they should work, or how they are incapacitated by surrendering to not controlling the mind, but surrendering to the mind. So these two words are very important, Kavihi and Manishi. So once you see the mind, once you know the mind, you are totally in charge of everything. Therefore, the next word comes Paribuhu. Sarvesham Pari means Sarvesham Upari Bhavati Paribuhu. It is the supreme-most being. Buhu means being. Paribhu means Upari, Sarvesham Upari Bhavati. He is the supreme being, means he is a being supreme not by sitting somewhere in the sky, by being the controller and the seer of everything. He becomes the supreme being because nothing escapes his control. Nothing is hidden from his vision. So he is the supreme being. He is in charge of everything. He or he, when I am using the word he, the words are used in masculine here. That is why I am using the word he. In the earlier three words from Akayam to Apavaviddam, it was used in neuter gender. So that is why the grammar portion I skipped, which was giving that, why it was used in neuter gender and why it is used in the masculine gender here. So Paribuhu means the supreme being. And how, not only he is a supreme being, he is Swayambhuhu. He is a supreme being by himself. By he himself becoming everything. This is the most important aspect which you should understand. Swayambhu means he is not become himself separate from you. By becoming everything, he is under his creation, he has become everything. So we should understand the word Swayameva Bhavati. Yesham upari bhavati yahascha upari bhavati saha sarvaha. Swayameva bhavati swayambhu. That is how the definition given by Shankaracharya in the Sanskrit Bhashya. He having become everything, he has now become Swayambhu. Earlier word was Paribhu. He is a supreme being for everything by controlling and knowing everything. But here, he achieved that knowing everything and becoming everything by not controlling or knowing alone. He has become everything. So there is nothing which is now not him, not separate from him. and he is the only truth. So there is only one which is the one, he himself has become everything. Ajayamano Vahuda Vijayate. Without becoming born, he became everything. That is the word, the way in which Upanishad or the Shastra talks about it. So without born, he became everything means he permeated everything, he became everything. Therefore, everything is an appearance in him, not separate from him, or he is in and everything. So therefore, he cannot be considered as away from you. This is the way in which one should understand what is Brahman or Atma. Therefore, yadha tatyatha, the word yadha tada bhavaha. Yadha means, yada tatyada means yadha tada bhava. Mean sarvatnya, because he is a sarvatnya, is all-knowing. Yada yadatyam tasmat yada bhuta karma phala sadhanataha arthan kartavya padarthan vyadadat vihitan yada anurupam vibhajyate tyartaha. Now, how did he not become everything, not everything, but not becoming everything, and then having created the separation in us? How are we feeling the separation from him? Because bhuta karma phala sadhanata. When we look at that, bhuta means here is from the objects of creation, bhutaha. Karma phala sadhanataha. From the karma and karma phala sadhanataha. By giving a feeling of separation, we created ourselves. We are the Brahman, but we created in ourselves using our limited mind that I am a being separate and I have to do the karma because I need the karma phala, and that karma phala will give me punya papa, which I mentioned earlier. And that is the reason why the Bodha Karma Phala Sadhanada, the reason why we feel that we are separate from the God. Actually speaking, these are the false notion due to avidya, because now the Upanishad is taking us to the next mantra, which is talking about vidya and avidya. For that, the Upanishad itself is giving a preamble sort of a thing like Yatha Bodha Karma Phala Sadhanataha Arthan Kartavya Padarthan, all the things which is need to be done, vyadatat vihitan, separately allotted. Yata anurupam vibhajyate tyartaha. With the creation of the feeling that we are separate by creating the mind and the karma and karma phala, and by giving the desire for karma phala, we are now separates ourselves from the Brahman. And we are now turned outward and looking for the karma and karma phala. Therefore, yada tada bhavaha, yatatha tyatatha, that we have now separated ourselves because of this karma phala sadhanata. Now, how did it happen? Right from Prajapati onwards. How does this Prajapati word come here? Shashwadibhya samabhyaha. Now, the word samabhyaha and Shashwadibhyaha, Nityabhya, even the eternal Prajapati. The Prajapati is considering himself eternal because each kalpa, the Prajapati remains the same for the entire period. So Samabhyaha means there are two meanings for it. Samvatsarik Akhyebhyaha. But Samvatsara means the kalpa. Each kalpa we have one Prajapati. Now Prajapati Bhyaha means is a plural. We have many Prajapatis. Like different Prajapatis are there for the different activities. So Hiranyagarbha is a Prajapati onwards. Brahma Karma Prajapati, there is, different Prajapati. So those Prajapatis is also called Sama by the Vedas. So Sama means both the time, and Prajapati is the ruler of that time. So here the thing Shashvatyabhya means eternity. So we have the feeling of that eternity is the space and time. But the space and time is also a creation by Brahman only, or the mind only. The mind now having secreted due to the karma phala sadhanata, now we are also looking into the time and the space as creations, and therefore we are now become separate from the Brahman. That has to be removed. For that, the means are being explained in the next mantra onwards. So the importance of this mantra is very, very critical for our sadhana, or for the understanding that we are not separate from Brahman. We are part and parcel of it. We are not separate, not by thinking that we are separate. That is due to avidya. The words avidya, vidya will come in the next mantra. So due to the ignorance which we are nurtured that we need to do karma and karma phala, we segregated ourselves from the Brahman. That is wrong. What we should know that we are the same by either by become Sarvajna, or whether we Paribhu, or whether we are Swayambhu, whichever way we look at it, we are the same Brahman who in our reality should take ourselves beyond our three bodies of subtle, gross and causal. Then only we can think about that level of Brahman as our true nature. And these three states of Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti is the three Shariras also. So you can say that unless we take from ourselves away from these limitations, we will not get the identity that we are Brahman. For this mantra need a very deep nididhyasana by each everyone. So look at the meanings, look at the explanation what is being given, and do the Shravana Manana Nididhyasana for your own firm understanding that you are nothing but Brahman. Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi will become a realization for you if you do this Shravana Manana Nididhyasana on this mantra. I'll stop it here today, and next mantra onwards is every mantra is important in this Upanishad. It's not only 18 of the mantra. We have covered the first half of the mantras here. So Friday we'll do the ninth mantra. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
Thank you, Bindoji. I'm limited in my ability to speak for any length of time right now, but I've opened hand raising and the chat is open. You're welcome to come up. This period right now is related to Isha, so if you've got questions directly related to Isha, please come up. Any question related is wonderful and welcome. And if I'm not mistaken, Bindoji, you'll be doing Friday session again to continue, and then you're going to do question answer, just an open mic
Yes.
on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saturday, Sunday question answer will be there.
Okay. So everyone, you're welcome to come up now, and if not, we can close the room, but please come up if you've got any questions related to this, and then you'll have a chance to speak to Bindo about other things on the weekend. It must have been very comprehensive. Ravati, it looks like you've got your hand up, but there you go.
Namaste, Vindaji.
Yes, Revati. Namaste.
The Sarvajna and the Supremacy. In my Sushupti Avastha, there is only the Prajnana Ghana, nothing away from or nothing other thing from me. I don't know anything. So, how to analyze this Sarvajna? What I know or everything I know. How to take that Vindaji? How to...
See, Sarvajna is when there is Sarvam. When you do not have many or multiplicity, or the multiplicity is not really a multiplicity, but it is your own form, your own appearances in the many forms, like the water appearing as waves, bubbles and everything, or the gold appearing as ornaments. All the examples is there in the Upanishad, which we saw it in the Chandogya Upanishad. So, all these things are, you can say that you have the Sarvajna is not by knowing everything as individually separately. Because individually and separately they don't have independent existence. Their existence is because you are existing as Brahman or Atman. And their existence are in you. And their existence is known in you. So you are knowing by becoming that and not knowing it as an objectifying knowledge. See, the objectifying knowledge in us is due to the nature of the mind to objectify things. Vastu Vishaya. So when we have a Vastu and Vishaya, then we objectify things and start separating from us. That is why the Bhuta Karma Phala Sadhanata is the reason why we are separating ourselves from our own nature, that there is only one thing. There is no separate karma and phala and sadhana. All of them are in us only. Where they can exist separately from us. So one should understand that when the Sarvajna means, you should understand the Sarvajnatvam is due to everything in me. And if I am saying everything, it is me becoming everything by myself becoming everything without myself dividing myself into everything. In me, I have given the space for everything like Akashavat. That is why it is said that way. So, okay, Devati?
Yes, Vindaji.
Any follow-up?
Namaste,
Any
Vindaji.
follow-up question, Revati?
I will ask after 5 minutes, Vindaji. I have to revise something.
Okay. Rahul?
Yeah, Namaste, Bindaji. My question is once again related to the Sarvagnatva. I understand the way you're telling that Sarvagnatva, but I read something similar in some other text where they were telling if you get into Samadhi, you can literally know when you get that Nirvikalpa Samadhi or something where you can basically know anything and everything, just like as I'm knowing my room right now. In that sense, in literal sense, we can know everything, whatever we want. Is it true, or like what is the deal there?
It's not true. It's not true. Because in Samadhi, those who have gone to Samadhi is trying to be away from many. Eka vritti tanata. They are coming to one-minded or single-pointedness, which shows there is no multiplicity. So having reached a single-pointedness, going to multipleness is getting out of Samadhi. So in Samadhi, being in Samadhi, you cannot know everything. What they are meaning is that in the Samadhi, you are knowing yourself, and by knowing yourself, you are now knowing everything is nothing but yourself. or there is nothing, everything separate. It is all appearances in yourself.
Okay, Binduji. The text that I'm referring to is the Yoga Vasishtam. I mean, is it considered authentic or not really?
It is considered a text because it talks about Advaita a lot, but it is a much later text in the 13th century. It is not part of the Vedas or Upanishads. It is a creation in the 13th century by an anonymous author. But it has been, since it is talking about Rama and Vasishta, now it has been attributed to Rama, part of Ramayana, but it is not Valmiki Ramayana. There is no reference to that in the Valmiki Ramayana.
Okay, sure. Yeah, thanks, Binduji. Because I was confused, like after reading it, because typically I would understand, okay, just like a dream in this world, like yeah, everything is there, but it's not. I can't literally know everything. I just need to know in some metaphorical sense. Everything is inside me. Yeah, thank you.
So if there are no more questions,
Binderji, I have one question. The
yes.
Shruti, Shruti never says the do's and don'ts. Or Upanishad. Upanishad never says do's and don'ts, and it's today it's almost the neti, all the papa, punya, vidya, avidya, and dharma, adharma, all these. Is it right, Bindaji? I understood right.
No, see, Upanishad, I will be dealing with this in the next class on Friday as a preamble to the next mantra, because we should understand the Vidya, Avidya in a very different way, and for that there is a preamble which Shankaracharya has written. But I will not go by the Bhashya, I will summarize that and give it, because it is too technical for those who have not studied the Vedas to understand. But to answer your question, Veda has Vedic portion, which is the Karma Kanda, has Vidhi and Nisheda. But when it comes to Upasana, the second part of it, there is standalone upasas and karma samuchaya upasana, which has been part of the karma. In that part of the karma upasana, where the prayer comes, there are do's and don'ts, that which time you should do, which time you should not do, and what should be your approach toward that. All sorts of guidances are provided within Nisheda. But when you come to Jnana Marga or the Upanishad part, it talks only about Jnana. But as a part of affirming our knowledge in the path of Jnana or knowledge path, it has to show that you cannot connect Jnana and Upasana also, and Jnana with Karma also. So for that, there is a Nisheda. That Jnana Karma Samuchaya or Jnana Upasana Samuchaya should not happen. That is the Nisheda, what is being told in the Upanishad. So don't feel that the Dharma, Karma Phala Dharma Sadhana, when it is being mentioned, it is being mentioned as a Nisheda. Nisheda is only, you should not couple them together. When Atma is being referred to, that you should understand the qualities of Atma or Brahman as it is given in the Upanishad. And do not consider them when we use the same word. Somewhere Jnana is used for Upasana, somewhere Vidya is used for Upasana, somewhere Upasana itself is used for Upasana. So the words are highly confusing for people who have not been brought up in the Vedic tradition. That is why we need to depend upon the expertise of Acharya Shankara, etc., for understanding these words of the Upanishad. Otherwise, we would have never decoded these Upanishads for the correct meaning. That is why it is important for us to understand it from that point of view.
Yes, and the Agnihotra, they all are the contemporary because
Right.
nowadays, yes, oh,
I think we can wind up.
Thank you, Bindoji.
Hari Om. Namaste.
Hari Om.